In case you don't know me, I'm Erik Pytlak. I was a student here back in the back in the dark ages, and I graduated in '91, and I'm on the GEMS board of directors, and we're here for board meetings this week, and we're also here for EMEX. And gave the briefing in last fall, and the weather was really boring, and did this briefing last March for EMEX, and it was really boring, and it is anything but boring right now. Blame it on me. Because apparently you've had no winter yet. You might get winter here in the next 72 hours, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So let's get right to it. A very active looking satellite image this morning over about the eastern two-thirds of the country. There's a nice little surface low here over eastern Iowa with lots of warm advection precipitation spreading northward, trying to spread northward anyway. The dew points are a little low around here this morning. We've been in the mid-40s, upper 30s for dew points. So I've noticed that the first couple of rain bands that have tried to come this way have broken up. But it's going to get more interesting here as the day progresses off to our west. There is a lot of clear skies here. There's like a prefrontal trough ahead of the parent cold front you can kind of make out here. It's kind of coming from western Illinois down through eastern Oklahoma. And there's quite a bit of sunshine in here that's cleared out. So this is going to get a pretty active area here for severe thunderstorms today. I'm noticing, just kind of watching out of the corner of my eye, I think SPC is now starting to put the watch boxes up. And I think we're going to see a lot more thunderstorm activity fill into this area later today, which will get interesting around here tonight. We've got this prefrontal stuff that's trying to come into us, but we've had some sunshine around here this morning, and with the dew points still on the low side, it's going to be kind of hard to get the precipitation to fall. So over the next couple of hours, I think we're still going to remain dry. We'll get threatened, maybe some sprinkles here and there, but bigger action is going to have to wait until tonight. So let's go. Let me quickly go to satellite and radar real quick. I'm sorry, go to surface plot here. Let's do northeast, just to zoom in. This is what I'm talking about here. Dew points are still in the low 40s here. Mid-50s are off to the west. And you can see this rain here. This was a much larger shield of rain a few hours ago, and it is breaking up. I think part of the reason why is because this is kind of in between upper level disturbances. We've got one to the south and one still off to the west. In fact, let me bring up water vapor here real quick. Let's see. to the loop here. Here's the main upper level low digging down across the Dakotas, but you have like one little shortwave here. Looks like there's another one here. So this makes it a little hard to forecast exactly where the stronger thunderstorms west, where the best forcing is. But with these fragmented little vortices kind of trying to rotate up ahead of the main trough, it makes it a little tricky because you don't get a lot of strong lift in any one spot unless you're getting a lot of convective initiation. So at least around here, I think the precip over the next few hours is going to be spotty and pretty light. We'll have to wait for this stuff to fill in, blossom into some thunderstorm complexes, and then we'll get that rain in here overnight tonight. What's interesting to me for tonight is 850. We got 35 knot winds in here. That's feeding northward. Actually, that's a 60 knot wind at 850, I think. And that seems a little hot. Wait a minute, that's 5. Let me make sure it's 850. No, it is 850. So yeah, you got nice strong winds in here, streaming northward with time. So a 70 knot low level jet around here, that's pretty darn impressive. So I think what will happen is as the precipitation moves into here later this evening, given that we have a little bit of a dry air mass, I've seen this happen before where the precip starts falling into the dry air and you get a brief period of mixing. So when that first round of rain actually starts falling, you could get some pretty good winds with this. And I think we'll be in and out of breeziness all night long with this rain. I don't know about thunderstorm because this is State College. Because clearly the better instability will be out to our west overnight. But I think overnight and early into tomorrow morning as the frontal loft passes overhead, we might get a rumble of thunder around here. But
thunder in February here now.
Well, you can. But I think the bigger issue is that temperatures will be climbing. 850 temperatures will be steady or slowly rising overnight. And with the precipitation moving in, this could be a really interesting night for low temperatures. I could very easily see temperatures maybe dip a little bit this evening as the rainfall comes in, and then maybe start rising overnight so that by morning we're still in the 50s with the wind, with breezy, with showers on and off overnight. Let's get to the real fun, because I think this is the #1 most interesting part of the forecast. How many inches are we short of the all-time record low snowfall in State College for the year? We're how much?
2/10.
2/10 short? All right.
It's going to be 2/10 or 2/10. Good, SE.
Okay, so this is the GFS. This is what I'm talking about here earlier, where we have basically we have several weak short waves ahead of the parent trough, and some of these are convectively induced, some of these are just little ripples ahead of the main upper low. There's our surface low here in Iowa with pretty good strong. There is a lot of warm advection ahead of this. I know SPC's been talking about a warm front in here. If there is one, I think it's up here, and it's already by us. But there's good southerly flow, so I think temperatures will stay up tonight. But let's go forward in time, because this is where it gets interesting, I think. Over time, I think by tomorrow morning, this is, let's see here, this is 0Z tonight, 6Z, 12Z. 12Z tomorrow morning, the surface front is still off to our west at 4 a.m. and it looks like at that point we're still raining. But notice that the main shortwave energy is still over Michigan. 18Z, that shortwave is still to our west, even though we've got some cold advection at the low levels. This makes me really interesting to see what happens tomorrow, because we're going to clear out for a time tomorrow morning. I don't know how long, and it may only be a few hours, but we're still probably going to be in the warm sector. You know, SPC's got a marginal risk as far northwest as Harrisburg, and I can't disagree with that. With that kind of a strong shortwave, we're going to get a good wave of upward vertical motion in a dry slot situation tomorrow morning before the cold front comes through. It's a little early in the day for us to get a convective line to develop over us, but it'll be close. I think it'll be just to our east tomorrow morning. But I think we're going to have a period tomorrow morning where we're going to be surprised in terms of this, maybe even having a couple hours of sunshine before the main front, the actual cold advection arrives.
And it's going to be
Possibly, even okay. I'm not sure about that, but I think what will happen is you're going to end up with a morning high tomorrow morning, maybe as high as the mid-60s before temperatures start falling in the afternoon. And you could get a nice round of thunderstorms pretty close to us. I think it'll be to our east. It'll be on the, usually what typically happens around here is you get the thunderstorms develop over Ohio. They get to, Pittsburgh and die. Then the next day they blow up in Philadelphia and move away from us. I think that's probably the situation we're looking at here. I will say that I think tomorrow morning we're going to have a pretty interesting morning in terms of maybe a brief round of sunshine before instability showers, and then once this vortex comes through during the afternoon, we're going to have showers on and off throughout the afternoon. So I think temperatures probably will start falling around midday, and then will continue to fall as we go through the evening hours. Now watch this. This is the thing that's been I've been watching all week from the West Coast and going, this is really interesting. Notice that little channel vortex coming down through Wisconsin. This is originating up in the Arctic. And the models have been really consistent on forecasting the secondary shortwave to drop into us Saturday night, or sometime between Saturday and Sunday. By 60 hours, here comes that shortwave, and it's still strengthening as it's dropping into us. This is now 0Z Sunday, and notice what our thicknesses are. They're about, 528. 850 temperatures are, looks like -4, -6. That's snow, folks, and with that channel vortex, you want to be on the north side of that vortex. So right now, I think that vortex goes pretty close to us, so the heavier snow, yes, it'll be snow, will probably be on the north side of that channel vortex, but it's coming awfully close to State College. The one minus about getting significant snow here, though, for those of you who've been here 3-4 years, northwest flow is not very good for snow in State College. We downslope out of that direction. But this is a great snow pattern for, basically northwest Pennsylvania, Bradford area, and also the Laurel Highlands, even though the Laurel Highlands will be kind of on the south, maybe on the south edge of that channel vortex. But that's a pretty good baroclinic zone for this to work on, even though you probably won't have a surface front to work with. You do have a weak low that's trying to develop with this to our north. You can kind of barely make it out there. But anyway, I think this is probably the most interesting part of the forecast. I think we're going to get 0.2 of an inch of snow here in State College. In fact, I'm going to pull out my baseball bat and swing. I think we're going to get about an inch here Saturday night. If I go with the Euro, which I do.
There's a second shot of snow in the GBFX too.
We'll talk about that in a minute. Here is the Euro forecast. This is off of Storm Vista. This is Saturday night. There's 0Z. Sunday, 3Z, 6Z. And to keep in mind, this is precip over 6-hour periods. So that green, that darker green there is 1/4 to 1/2 inch. We kind of hang out right over northwest Pennsylvania, right where that up on the north side of that channel vortex is. And that's up, higher terrain. That's a nice area where you get a little bit of orographic lift. But thicknesses are as low as 522. So even though 850 temperatures are a little marginal, I think this is very efficient snow production where we do get it. So I think the Laurel Mountains in northwest Pennsylvania, we're probably looking at about a 3 to 6 inch snowfall Saturday night with this. And then that lifts out, and then Rich is stealing my thunder, but we have another system coming in behind this that starts coming in Sunday night. And this will be interesting because Sunday will be a cool day. We may hit 40 on Sunday because those thicknesses are still pretty low. So we're going to be starting off Sunday night, Monday morning, pretty chilly with cold air trapped in the valleys with overrunning precip starting to develop here Sunday night into Monday morning. Now, keep in mind that this is the European. It's a coarse resolution model, but it's still, the 540 line is pretty close to us. 0 line is on top of us. 32. Basically what I think is Sunday night, Monday morning, I think we have a second chance of snow or sleet or freezing rain. It's a little far out, though. This is 105 hours out, 108 hours out, so I kind of like to see a mile run or two. But we have a second chance of snow here Sunday night, Monday morning before this lifts out. Notice this one. This could be a pretty interesting snowfall for upstate New York, maybe even northwest Pennsylvania, where you could get a quick hit of pretty good snow with this before it changes over to rain or something other than, I call it chunky rain because it's not snow, it's kind of something in between. And then that lifts out during the day on Monday. So let's just go ahead and go back to the GFS. There's our next system coming in, and this one actually does look like it's got pretty good cyclic. The low, once again, dropping out of the northwest. It's more of an Alberta Clipper system. The surface low looks like it cuts northwest to southeast. So you figure the best snow will be to its north, but you do have a period here where you get some overrunning here in most of western Pennsylvania, and you've got enough moisture present, you're going to get at least something to fall. So, and then that lifts out. And as we go into the longer range, what's interesting is we've got this ridge here in the western U.S. It tries to break down. We have a pretty good system trying to come over the top. This starts making its way out into the plains. So as we get toward day 6, day 7, we have another system coming at us here in the region. This one looks like it's mostly rain. But it looks like, and basically in general, the next 7 days is a more active weather pattern around here. And interesting weather tonight, tomorrow. I think tomorrow morning could be really interesting. And then a little bit of a break Saturday. I think EMEX will be okay. I think we'll be in between systems. Saturday evening, I think we start with a rain-snow mix here in State College, quickly change to snow. And then I think an inch is certainly possible on grassy surfaces around here. If we get the wrong snow shower in the wrong place, I would even be willing to go up to 2 here in State College. I think it's going to be like a 3 to 6, though, up in the Laurel Mountains. 3 to 6, probably up in northwest Pennsylvania. I would not at all be surprised if someone comes within a 7 or an 8. And then got to watch for that system next Tuesday. Okay.
Historically, it wasn't pure lake effect with the, and Rich, anybody here can correct me, but the biggest lake effect snow I've ever seen here happened in April. We had like a 5-inch band of straight.
It's Easter. It's like within the last 10 years.
Yeah, within the last 10 years, and so
We're up a year.
it can snow, obviously.
It can. One of the things that I also wanted to show is SPC, their Cape potential here, just to kind of jump back to tonight. This is a probability of greater than 500 joules per kilogram of Cape, and you can see here, this is 21Z today, so basically we get pretty good convective potential energy ahead of that cold front. By the way, the shear in this, I mean, if you've got 70 knot winds at 500 millibars, or it's 850 millibars, there's strong shear in here. But as it comes toward western Pennsylvania, it dies. And this is what I'm talking about tomorrow morning. This is 9Z, 12Z, 15Z. So this is, what, 8 in the morning around here? 11 in the morning around here. This gets really interesting. We have a better than 50% chance of over 500 millibar or 500 joules per kilogram of Cape here in eastern southeast Pennsylvania. That's awfully close for me. Again, going with the rules of State College forecasting, it'll be to our east, but that does make things interesting. One thing I wanted to show, though, is the plume off the SREF. Now, keep in mind the SREF resolution isn't that great. What is it now? Is it 20 millibars? 20?
16.
It's 16. That's still not great for Pennsylvania, though, with our terrain. But let me go ahead and bring up.
It's pretty relative. We started out with like 380 kilometer miles,
Right. That's true. So, all right. So let me do. I think this is Williamsport. This is the plume snowfall forecast for Friday or Saturday night into Sunday morning. It means about a ½ inch, but you notice there's a couple of the cold. It's probably NAM members that are even giving Williamsport 4 inches. But let's go to Buffalo. This is the one that really caught my eye. Here's Buffalo. Now remember, that's on the left front quad of that channel board coming in. I mean, the plumes, again, they tend to underestimate, or they tend to underestimate on the low end and the high end. But there's certainly potential there for several inches of snow even in Buffalo. And if you go away from Buffalo and you get into that higher terrain, I think that risk is certainly there. So the SREF is picking up on this potential for a pretty good accumulation of snow Saturday night. So let me ask the State College people, this is late season stuff. Do you have late season winter storm watch criteria when you have heavy snow that's going to stick to trees and power lines and that kind of stuff?
Not really, unless it's going to be really heavy wet.
And it is going to be heavy wet, right? You would think it's Saturday night, temperatures will be in the upper 20s. Do you think wind will keep it off? Yeah, so this is a really interesting question. In the National Weather Service, what do you do with this? Do you put out a winter storm watch? Because it's April, it's late season, it's a weekend, advisory. What? Now, I will say that in the western United States, our criteria is a lot looser with winter storm watches. Most offices would probably go with a winter storm watch for this because, one, the potential's there, and you can always back down to an advisory later, and two, because of the being so late in the season. So it's different philosophies in different parts of the country on how to put out watches, warnings, and advisories. I think the key thing with this, though, too, is how warm is the ground going to be Saturday night into Sunday when this falls. The fact this is coming in Saturday night really makes me, that's really good timing for this. If this is coming during the day, I'd be a little reluctant in terms of forecasting. You know, I'm going out on a limb here forecasting an inch of snow, maybe a little more here in State College. But it's at night. Yeah, it's good cold advection, good strong vort.
It's just been so hard to snow in Pennsylvania this winter.
Sure.
I wouldn't even do anything until you're 24 hours out.
Yeah.
It's just one of those. Some years it just doesn't want to snow.
I think this is a different situation than you've had all winter, though.
They all look like this, then they do.
Okay.
We've had the models give us about 130 inches of snow this year.
Hey, he's not kidding.
Really?
10-day forecast we have.
Well, but this is 48 hours out now, right?
Oh, we had a 24-inch snowstorm, 18 hours out.
Yeah.
So.
Used to that.
Yeah, I don't.
Questions from the undergrads in particular, or comments, or I know Michael, you put out the campus weather forecast this morning. I did look because I wanted to see what you guys did. I'm like, yeah, okay, I agree with that. It's going to be tricky tomorrow because I noticed you went quite a bit colder for tomorrow morning. But you know, if the cold advection's a couple hours faster, my mid-60s, upper 60s for a morning high tomorrow is going to bust. It's a really high bust potential on a temperature tomorrow morning, I think.
Yeah, temperatures are going to fall though good in the afternoon.
I think they will. I think once that front comes through, and once that vort goes by, I think the temperatures will drop pretty sharply. But is it at noon, or is it at 4 in the afternoon, or is it 8 a.m.?
I would, a GST HERS going to probably give you a hint on that. If you want to pull something up, let me
Can you get it back?
try and fix the projector.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Yeah, that's a good point. The
GST HERS goes 20, and then said only less than 15 hours.
You talk about the hurry.
No, the HERS is supposed to, the GST has the latest version of the HERS, and they run it every cycle, certain cycles they run out for 24 hours.
Do you know what site? Where is it posted?
GST, so GST HERS.
Okay.
Stan Benjamin.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Stan.
Yeah, famous. Well,
Travis Alexander.
This may not come back.
Yeah. That's,
Okay.
it's all right.
So I mean, the other undergrads. I mean, you're struggling with this weekend, though.
So if we do get some snow here at State College, do you think it's going to be one of those situations where like the north end of town might get an inch, but the south end might, not have anything?
Sure. You gotta say, I mean, well, one, it's a northwest flow, and it'll be a pretty convective snow, given the, I mean, temperatures aloft are the big thing driving this. The temperatures aloft will be quite cold. You could very well end up with some pockets of nothing. Yeah.
it's also in the lecture in the 40s again now, maybe even a little warmer.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and that's why I think Northwest Pennsylvania could do really well with this.
Yeah, get some lake in there.
There's getting this all night, so no real worries about sun angle.
No, that's it. If it was during the day, if this was during the day, if that cold front was coming in Saturday during the day, I'm with you. I think what would happen is we've been fighting solar insulation. Now, here's the thing, though. When you get that, and you got cold air aloft coming in like that, you can get some pretty good convective snow showers. I think you still could get that at night. But I think just because of the low sun, it's night, and also give it a little time for the ground to cool off, you'll allow that snow to actually stick, even if the snowfall rates aren't that high. This also gets really tricky when you're forecasting in the spring and the fall snowfall. Snowfall rate's really important. If it just falls at 1/10 of an inch an hour, it melts as it falls. But if you can get it really going like an inch per hour, you can have a ground temperature of 33 degrees and it will still stick eventually. You just end up with slush and slop, but it'll stick. So, all right.
GST.
Oh God, I hate their
Her
websites.
hourly.
Okay, thank you.
I think like northeast, the domain. It's like it's all that.
Yeah, that's,
I think like the reflectivity loop. Right, let's check the checks. So that's the second from the top. That'll give you the mode of convection too. That'll let you do it.
want to do 1 kilometer or composite?
That'll be fine. Because it's going to be, it'll tell you the convective mode at least. It should go to 24 hours.
Yep, there's the collapse, and there's that stuff that develops tomorrow morning.
We had some stuff come through. What there's a line that comes through that then another line comes in later. It looks like.
Yeah.
That's gonna be.
Oh, this first line, I don't know. These have been wanting to.
Get the time, like my brain doesn't. Right there's a peak. Just click step through.
What I find interesting, though, is that, okay, there's our band of rain. Keep in mind that this band fell apart as it came in here earlier this morning.
Yeah.
And so I think this second band may fall apart, too, with the dew points being so low. I think this is what comes in. This is, let's see, yeah, this is like, what, midnight? And even that falls apart. So I think it's going to struggle to rain here this afternoon and evening. And then here's our tomorrow morning stuff. It's trying. It's trying, but it's still too early in the morning. 9 a.m.
Yeah.
It's just coming through a little too early. But like I said, I think this is to Michael's point. If the front comes through a couple hours faster, we'll just steady to slowly fall all day. If it can delay just a couple hours, we could really warm up here before the front actually comes through.
You can put the temperature, 2 meter temperature. Not bad. You have to go to the previous window, one tab over. Pick like put out the 2 meter temperatures.
You can tell I don't go on this type.
There.
Skin temp.
Right there. One more down. Oh, you did skin temp. Like a doctor. There you go. See how warm it is in the morning. My guess is the front's way back. I think it has an outer front look to it. The shear's pretty good. It is the front. It's in Ohio.
Okay. Yeah, you still got solidly. The flow's trying to disrupt, but.
So what are the, stop the last image. Stop at image 25. Or click on image 25.
Yeah, we're still in the 60s here.
You're on image 17. See the front's in Ohio. We saw southerly flow. So that's an outer front line coming. You see the shear line is coming right through it. So there's a chance that by the time the front comes, we can get another convective line developing in the afternoon because the cold front's way back in Ohio.
That's a good point.
And so it's a classic antifront. So the shear squeaks out.
Now, refresh my memory though. With an antifront, shouldn't you get?
I reversed it as a counterfront. Yeah.
I was going to say.
Yes, it's a counterfront.
That's why I was questioning you earlier.
My bad. The old lift's out ahead of it. It's a counterfront. I apologize. I'm getting old.
So, all
It's way out
right, undergrads. I just corrected the professor at the SU, the chief scientist of the National Weather Service. Could the undergrads enlighten him on what an antifront is and a catafront is? Go ahead, seniors. You're going to do better than he did.
I just reversed the terms in my old head.
Go. You'll be right. Go. Come on. Come on. Yep, go. Yep. Yeah. And also, where's on an antifront? Where's your vortex relative to the frontal boundary? Ahead or behind it? For a catafront. Mm-hmm.
I'll guess ahead of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and this is where it gets tricky because what you could end up doing is, with a prefrontal line, it comes through, your temperatures drop briefly, but then you start going back up again. And then if you can get sun out, this is how you get dry slot severe thunderstorms. They end up being very low top, but you're still in a high shear environment, and you haven't had the really good cold advection aloft move overhead, but the cold advection at the surface move in overhead, but the cold advection aloft is moving in. So your temperatures aloft are dropping, but your temperatures at the surface are climbing. So what's happening to your instability? It's increasing. So you can end up with a secondary line of thunderstorms with this. So this will get interesting. Like I said, I think tomorrow's high is going to be really tricky. I would not be surprised if I did notice MRF Moss at 0Z was giving us a high of 71 tomorrow.
Those temperatures were actually in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah. MRF Moss 0Z run was giving us a high tomorrow of 71. I can't disagree with, I mean, that could happen.
We're on the other.
So, but the other thing too is how much cloud cover will we have tomorrow morning when that first prefrontal line comes through? Will we just be cloudy? And then we're not going to want to warm up as much. Do we get showers breaking out ahead of this? Could have that happen. That'll knock your temp down. So, but you know, look at the temperatures behind us. It's a pretty good cold front. So, anyone want to guess on snow for Saturday night? I think that's the most important. I think it's the trickiest part of the forecast is actually Saturday night. Anyone? Anyone?
We'll probably sleep.
Half inch.
Half-inch State College? Anyone?
It's going to be a shame.
Anyone's going to forecast none? Zero, not even a flake.
3/10.
No one? Anyone for?
That's what I want.
3/10.
All right, so no one's forecasting.
To go 5 miles west of State College where we live, we're going to have an inch or so or more. No, nothing here.
Okay, so we've got one saying no flakes at all.
Well,
I think we see flakes,
Trace.
but just trace.
Okay, how many vote trace?
I'm going trace.
Flakes, that's no accumulation, just flakes. All right, as they say at AccuWeather down the street, a coating. Or in the West, we call it a dusting. How many are going to go for? Let's go for an inch. I'm going to go for the inch. Now, I'm okay with grassy surfaces, by the way. I don't think it'll be very hard to stick on pavement around here. Anyone want to go 2? I can't rule it out. I don't think it will because it's State College. But all right, and then the other one. Let's do the other one. Bradford, Pennsylvania. How many are going to forecast nothing up there? Anyone? Nothing. Nothing. Okay. Let's just jump right to the chase. 2 inches. 2 inches in Bradford.
Airport? We're talking? Airport?
Wherever wherever the official observing site is in Bradford.
I'll go 2 to 3.
2 to 3. All right. Anyone?
The plumes
Three is reasonable for them.
Plus more. How about 4? 4?
Sure.
Bunch of 4. 2 to 4. I think 3 to 6. Anyone with me on that one?
You're on the high end of the plumes, I'll tell you that
Okay,
much.
that's fine. I'm willing to go there. Anyone higher than 6?
Have to get some water.
Okay, no one higher than 6. All right, well, there we go. So anything else? Yeah, go ahead, Ben.
Unfortunately, I don't have
Oh, hey, did you hear that one, guys? Could Williamsport get more than, what was that?
They double what they've already had.
Which they've had 5 inches this winter? Yeah, that'll be tough.
You said half, 50%.
So they 2 inches in Williamsport. I'd be willing to, well, Williamsport, how high are they up?
They're not.
Yeah, they're in the valley.
They need synoptics, usually.
Yeah, they're a little, that'll be
If
hard.
you can handle 20 inches and still have a record.
Yeah, that might be a little hard.
Break their record.
I think they're in the same boat we are. I think it's maybe an inch on grassy surfaces.
Plus you can.
Yeah. So, but that's the other consideration I'm putting on a winter storm watch. I mean, or an advisory, winter weather advisory. Is it going to stick on pavement enough to disrupt travel?
But you know, our advisory category is like, you know, up here is like 3. We're going at 6, so it takes about 4 inches of wet snow to start bringing down limbs.
Okay.
I'm not going to get any heart attacks out of that.
Okay. Oh, the heart attack criteria. Yeah, see, again, this is, different philosophies. In the western United States, the offices have great latitude on, if it's a half an inch of snow, but it's going to disrupt travel, you can put an advisory out.
Well, where you live, anything will disrupt travel.
Well, right, it's to Portland, yeah. Portland gets as much snow as Atlanta, so. Any other thoughts, comments, questions? Certainly interesting few days ahead. At least EMEX looks good. You know, how many of you were here for the EMEX snow? Yeah, we were here for the EMEX snow 2-3 years ago. That was fun. That was a fun one. We had our attendance cut in half from, well, 4 inches of snow will do it. So. All All right, that's all I have.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
All right, Jared.
Thanks, everyone.
So which way is it going?